Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Power Up Series for OpenAir by TopStep. I'm Ron Bro, CEO of TopStep. Thanks for joining today. Our topic today is going to be the BI connector, best practices for OpenAir. The BI connector in OpenAir was really designed to be able to share OpenAir report data to external systems. That was the initial business solution that it was set up for. It's expanded since then, and we'll talk about some of the other use cases that the BI connector can solve. It does require additional licensing from NetSuite. So if you don't see it in your instance of OpenAir, you will need to contact your OpenAir account, your NetSuite account rep, and request a quote for it. There is a cost. It's not a great one, but there is a cost to enabling it in your account. However, once you do enable it, you can save massive time and effort if you are looking to show OpenAir data in third-party BI tools. You don't have to rebuild the database from scratch. You can simply take the reports you trust today and then publish those out and then be able to bring those in. So we'll talk about some of the use cases and some of the details about that. We're going to start off with the initial use case for why the BI connector is so powerful. Let's say my company has invested in a BI tool because they want to be able to share data between all the various systems, OpenAir and all of the other systems in our environment. But we don't have the resources or the time or the money to create a full data warehouse. So we want to be able to just pull the data out of OpenAir and be able to display that data so that executives and key folks can monitor KPIs. So with the BI connector enabled, and you can tell it's enabled if you go to My Reports. You cannot publish a report out without it being one of your reports. So I'm going to My Reports, and I see here there is an icon in my account that when I highlight says Publish. So let's say I want to publish this booked versus actual time monthly. If I click here, it's going to give me some options. We're going to talk about each one of these options, but the first thing we're going to talk about is the Business Intelligence Connector. And basically what this will do is it's going to publish through an OpenAir OData service. And what that means is any BI tool or even Excel that you can pull in OData data from a source, you can basically go in, if you take this URL and this report name after publishing it, then you can basically bring this data in. So if I click publish, okay, we have published it. It is a very large report, and this is also another really good way of being able to run really large reports. You don't have to wait on the run. You can publish them out to a BI tool, and then you'd be able to see those all that data. Here's our link. Here's our report. And basically from here, we can copy and paste this into our BI tool and pull this data in. Now, right now, what I've done is publish a static report. The data is what the data is at the time I publish it. But I want to be able to see the data updated. So you can go in, once you've published the report, if you go back to the report, and now I can go in and schedule it. So if I come in and say, I want to schedule this report to run every day at midnight, and I want to go ahead and publish this to the OData service for the Business Connector. This allows me to basically have this data refreshed every 24 hours for updating the views inside of the BI tool. So this is really helpful to basically keep the data accurate and up to date in the source system. So that's for publishing reports. Well, what else can we publish? You can also publish list views. So if I go back to my project list, let's say I've created a view here by manipulating my columns, and I've got a nice view, and I want to publish this out. I can now come in here and say, save this view. And I can make this a public view so all users can see it, but I can also publish it to the BI connector as well. And this allows me to, again, get the same OData connections. So if I come back in here and hit Edit Properties, sorry, pause. If I come back in here and click Manage Saved List View, I can see which views have been published and are public, and I can see the OData connector resource name here. So this gives me the details I need to be able to go out and get. And the nice thing about these list views is they are real time versus batch scheduled. So when you hit this data, you will immediately get the list view data the same as you would if you logged into OpenAir. Very powerful. And all the list views that are configurable, time, expenses, invoicing, all those list views are all able to be published in OpenAir. So if we go back to our report, there was a few other use cases I'd like to mention. If I go back to reports, my reports, and let's take a look at this bookings this year, and let's take a look at publishing. So we talked about publishing to the BI connector. There's also the option to publish to NetSuite connector. Well, what is this? Well, this allows us to pull OpenAir data into NetSuite custom objects. So if you are looking to build dashboards, KPIs in NetSuite from OpenAir data, you can now go in and publish that data and create different custom objects using the data set. And now you can build dashboards and views for folks that only have access to NetSuite based on OpenAir data. It's pretty cool, works really well. The last option is scripting. And what this does is, using the scripting engine, we're often asked to build these very complicated utilization scripts or percent complete scripts. And a lot of times for large organizations with lots of time entries, lots of projects and lots of users, the volume of data is pretty great. So for us to build a custom percent complete calculation, our script has to go read hundreds and hundreds of thousands of time entries to determine how to calculate the percent complete. You can get into some limits there. Well, if we just create a report by project with the hours in the project, by project, and now we publish that, we can now have our script go out and grab the data right out of the report. So we don't actually have to read the time entry table. We can just read the report, pull the hours from the report, do our calculations, and then store that calculation on the project. So it saves a ton of time for the script to run. It saves the problem of running into limits. So the publishing to the user scripting has been a big add to this tool for our team, and anyone that's building scripts for OpenAir may want to consider using this method to be able to cut down on timeouts and limitations. Appreciate everyone joining today. If you'd like to learn more about the BI connector or any other OpenAir tips and tricks, please contact TopStep, our website, TopStep LLC, or you can check us out on LinkedIn and follow us there. Thank you very much.